How to upload products to Printify in bulk. If you create a large number of products on Printify, you're probably extremely bored of coming into the interface and clicking around and typing to manually create all your required products one at a time. First, you have to come here, you have to go to the catalog, you have to find the type of product you're creating. Let's see, which brand was it? Okay, we're gonna pick this one, then you gotta go start designing, you have to upload, you have to wait, you gotta select the correct variants. Then we're not done yet. I gotta come here, I gotta mess with the design, gotta make sure that it takes the whole space, save product, wait for this to load. I have to come up with the title for this product, I have to come up with the description, I gotta do the tags, I gotta do the prices. It's a lot of boring, repetitive work where you're just doing the exact same steps over and over again. And it seems like the type of thing where you should just be able to say, hey, here are the 50 or 100 artwork images I want to use to create products. Please generate this particular type of product for each one of the artwork images that I have. Then instead of spending hours of time coming in here and clicking around and doing this for each product, you could just do a bulk operation where you generate all your products at once. Wouldn't that be convenient? Well, luckily for you, that's exactly what we're going to show you how to do here in this video. We're going to be using a tool here called the Bulk POD Product Creator, which allows you to automate the creation of your print-on-demand products. It pretty much works exactly as the name suggests. It allows you to just generate all of your print-on-demand products in bulk instead of doing it manually. Instead, you basically just dump all of your image files here, specify what sort of product you want to create, set up the rules for the titles and descriptions and tags, and then you just click a button and it just automates the creation of all your required products for you. No clicking around in the interface and typing and uploading for hours. Instead, just a couple quick, simple setup steps, click a button, and it just does all the work for you. This tool can even upscale your images to high resolution. It can automatically resize your images to fit the different print areas that you're using for your variants. And it also uses AI image recognition to generate highly accurate SEO-optimized titles, descriptions, and tags for each one of your new products. So instead of sitting here racking your brain to type a description and, describe the lake and the scenery and the mood and the artwork style, you can just set this up here and it'll just use AI to do all that for you. Let's jump into it. Step 1, select your image files. I hope you could figure that out on your own. Choose files, you come here. This is the current folder that I'm using. I'm just gonna go Control A, select all, and here we have our 50 image files selected and ready to rock and roll. We're gonna leave the settings as is, upscale images to high resolution and 300 DPI. Obviously that's good for, having high quality products, so we're not producing pixelated images or anything like that. It's also just gonna resize all of the images to fit the print areas of our products. Like if you're selling posters or something, you don't want to have, white space or gaps or something. You want to make sure that it fills the whole area. And the cool thing about this feature is even if you're doing different variants for your products, like even if you're doing 18 by 24, 16 by 24, cool, no problem. It'll just resize the images to fit the full print area of the selected variants. So that's a pretty useful feature. I've got a couple images in my folder that I deliberately sized incorrectly. This one is a square. This one I made just a little too narrow. I included those in here just to show you the fact that this tool will just resize your images for you. So it saves you the work of doing a bunch of pre-processing steps to make sure all your images are sized correctly. You can just sort of dump your images in your folder, pass it through this tool, and out the other ends come solid, usable products. So that's all good. Next, step 2, we're going to select our example product. This is where you basically connect this tool to your Printify store and then tell this tool what product you want to create more of. So create products for the store, we're going to start with that. We'll just come here, we'll say connect another store, and here we're going to drop our Printify API key. This is something I already have copied to my clipboard for this video. If you want to find this, you can just follow this link, or alternatively, you can just come down to the account section, go to the connections part of the website. Here is where it allows you to create an API token. API tokens, it basically just allows other software tools to connect with your Printify store so they can perform whatever commands or operations they need to. Generate an API token, it'll give you a little string of text and numbers, and you can just copy that, paste it in here, and you're good to go. Printify store ID, so here is where you'll need to go to the orders section of your website, and then up here in the URL for whatever particular store that you want to make products for, it'll have this little number string up here. So copy just the number string, not the whole URL, but just the little identifier for your store. You can just give it a name, you can type whatever you want here. This is just for your recognition purposes. Canvas Art Central, that's the name of our store. So I'm just gonna say connect my store, and we're good to go, baby. Store successfully saved. Next is where we tell this tool what product we want to create more of. And this is how the tool knows what product to make, what variants to use, what prices to set the variants to, and so forth for the automated product creation operation. So really all you need to do is just create a product, which is just sort of like the ideal product that you want to make more of and use for this bulk operation. Here I have one created already where it's a canvas wall art product, and I have the variants here that I'm using. I have the prices set for the different variants and so forth. And really, once you have your template product created, you can just come here. There's a little product ID string up here, and you just copy this. And then, so we'll just go select another product from the dropdown, and then this is where you paste the example product ID. It's just this little string section up here. Paste that in there, and then you can just give it a name. I'm just going to say canvas wall art, and then we'll just say save example product. Example product successfully saved. Well, isn't that some terrific news? So now the tool knows what images we want to use, what we want to do with the images, and what product we want to use for the bulk creation operation. So really the way it works is when you run this, it'll basically create more of these products. It'll say, cool, he wants to make the canvas wall art product. He wants to use these variants at these prices and so forth. We're going to make more of these, except instead of whatever images are inside of here, we're going to use these 50 images here. We'll make one product for the first image. We'll make product number 2 using the second image. Product 3 we'll use the third, and so forth for all 50 images. Step 3, this is our last step here. This is where we specify the product creation rules. Here, there's a section for the titles, descriptions, and tags. And this is where you basically tell the tool, hey, this is what I want the titles to look like and be formatted like. Here's what I want to do for the descriptions, and here's what I want you to do for the tags for each product. The cool thing about this is you can use AI image recognition for this section to where it'll actually analyze each of your images, and it understands the contents, and it'll come up with accurate descriptive titles, descriptions, tags, using the appropriate keywords and artwork terms and descriptors and everything. And that just saves you a ton of time, you know, sitting here doing that boring work for 50 products, 100 products, 1,000 products. If you're typing all the stuff yourself, it's going to get quite boring. If you want, maybe you already have specific names that you want to use for your products. Cool, you can just set your image file names, and if you use the default setting, it'll just use Moonlight Reflections, and that'll be the product title that it uses. Rhythmic Harmony, and it'll use that one. We're going to use the generate using AI. 2 options here. There's the simple AI title and the compound AI title. Simple AI title is exactly what it sounds like. It just gives you a simple, concise, AI generated title. So full moon landscape might be what it comes up with. Foggy mountain peak. Layered landscape serenity, something like that. Just a simple, concise, you know, typically it's like 2 to 5 word artwork title. Compound title, it gives you a little more inside of there. It'll give you that simple title at the front, which is sort of like the main title for the artwork piece. Plus, it'll give you some additional subtitle segments after that just give you sort of an additional SEO keyword boost. So it might give you full moon landscape for the main title. Then it'll give you the subtitles: black and white photography, scenic night artwork, serene midnight landscape, dreamy nocturnal sky, and so forth. And, you know, this is pretty good for SEO purposes. If you're creating product listings that are showing up in the Google shopping feed or on Etsy or whatever it is, you know, having these additional keyword terms can help your product show up for these particular searches, and really just makes it more likely that your products will be discovered by people searching for the type of artwork that you're selling. Anyway, up to you though, depending on your preferences. We're going to go ahead and stick with compound AI title, and we'll just use the 2 subtitle segments. Something else you can do here is you can actually add custom text to each created product. So what we're going to do is, since we're doing the canvas wall art product, we're going to just sort of drop that at the end of each title. Again, this is really good for SEO because if somebody is searching for a canvas wall art piece that specifically features black and white photography and includes a full moon landscape, you know, including those keyword terms makes it more likely that your product, your listing, will show up for that particular search. The AI generated part will be unique based on each of the images that you're using, and then this will be generic, and this will get applied to each product basically. You can flip this around if you want. You can do your custom text at the front. Canvas wall art, you can do it like that if you want to front load it. We're going to stick with the convention on our store, and we're going to go with the canvas wall art part at the end of it. So that's the product titles. We're going to move down to the product descriptions next. Once again, we're just going to use the AI image recognition to generate the descriptions for us. We'll just do 1 paragraph AI generated descriptions, and that's really good, pretty straightforward. You can also include custom HTML in your description, so this is pretty useful if you have the generic product information where it's like, you know, it describes the canvas wall arts, what materials it's made of, indoor use only, just basic instructions about the product itself. So if you want to include that sort of basic information, you can just come to this source code section in your description. This actually copies the HTML itself. You can just copy all of that, come in here, and you can just drop that in there, and it'll include that at the end of the description. If you want, you can do it at the front, toggle this arrow. Again, we're going to stick with our store's convention, so we'll do the AI generated paragraph. Then at the end of that, it'll have the generic information about the product that we're selling, materials it's made of, all that stuff. So this is good, pretty straightforward. Finally, for the product tags, once again, we're going to use the AI image recognition. We're going to generate 20 tags that describe each of our artwork products, and at the bottom here, you can add the custom tags so it'll get applied to all of the products you create. So since we're doing canvas art here, we're going to say canvas art, canvas wall art, wall decor, wall wall art, canvas prints, and home decor. That should be good. So basically the AI generated ones, these are going to be specific to each of the individual images. And on top of that, for each product it creates, it'll add these generic ones to all of the products. So, you know, for organization purposes on your store, maybe you're grouping collections on your store based on tags, or just to have the appropriate, you know, descriptive tags and keywords for SEO purposes, instead of coming in and, you know, manually typing canvas arts, canvas wall art, blah, 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 for all of the products you create. When you set up the bulk operation, you can just make sure those get applied to all of the products you're creating for this current batch here. That's really about it. Everything is set up and ready to go. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this current operation. This will just save all of the settings that we set up here. So we're just going to say canvas wall arts 20 by 30. I'm just going to say save current operation. Operation successfully saved. Well, isn't that terrific news? And so if you're coming back to this website, you have this little drop down here at the top where it'll just have your saved operations. And what this allows you to do is you can just pick it from the drop down, click load saved operation. It'll load all of your specific settings into this interface section. And that allows you to really just come here, pick what you want to do, click the button, select your images, click create my products, and really, you know, just like 4 or 5 button clicks and you're good to go with automating dozens, maybe even hundreds of products. So it really makes it about as easy as possible to create Printify products in bulk. We're all set though. We have our bulk operation set up. We're going to click create my products and drum roll please. Bingo, creating my products. So in the background, it's just going to be doing all of this work that we described here. It's going to be uploading the images. It's going to be doing the upscale and resize operations. If it needs to resize the images to fit the different aspect ratios, it'll do that as well. Then what it's going to do is it'll create the product itself on Printify. It'll use the appropriate images we selected so that it fits the print area. Then it'll pass the images through the AI image recognition tool so that it generates the titles according to our settings, creates the descriptions, creates the tags, and it'll just populate all of that stuff for each created product. And it really does all of the work of making products for your print-on-demand store completely automated 100% on autopilot. Anyway, we'll take a look at some of the outputs here. It's been sort of humming along in the background for a little bit. We're up to 16 out of 50 products created. So if you remember, I had a couple images that deliberately looked like shit just for the sake of showing that it will resize the images. This was way too vertical, this was way too square, and the tool was able to resize the images to fit the print area. So that's pretty cool. So this was our template product where we had these specific variants selected, and when the tool automated the creation of our products, you know, it selected the same variants based on the example product, carried over the price points that we had. The coolest part, in my opinion, is the fact that it uses the AI image recognition to generate all of these text outputs for us. Concrete consciousness, that's a pretty goddamn cool name for this artwork piece. Urban identity collision, surreal architectural portrait. And then there's that little canvas wall art segment that we included at the end of each of our titles. So very cool stuff. It's a pretty accurate and solid descriptive name of this artwork piece. Come down to the description section, it's the same thing. So we have the generic stuff. Remember, we included the custom HTML at the end, so it included that down there. And then at the top section, this was the AI generated part of the description. This striking digital artwork blends surrealism and modern design, featuring a figure with a concrete block for a head set against a vibrant multicolored background. Pretty accurate stuff. Geometric shapes and textured colored blocks frame the composition, creating a dynamic interplay between organic and industrial forms. It really does an outstanding job of understanding the images, even for complex images like this, where it's not just like a picture of a fruit on a table or something. You know, this is an abstract artwork piece where it's a portrait and their head is a concrete block, and, you know, it's different colors and the texture is all weird and stuff, and it just really completely understands what it's seeing, and it includes all the appropriate terms and descriptors and, you know, the art phrases used. So if somebody's searching the internet for something like this, it's just really good stuff for SEO. Tag, same thing, surrealism, concrete block, contemporary art, human architecture fusion. So really it does a terrific job of doing this boring work for us and including all the appropriate terms and descriptors. And then of course we have those generic terms, canvas art, canvas wall art, wall decor. Obviously we said include these for each product, and that's exactly what it did here. So that's pretty cool. Pop over to this one here, celestial convergence, galactic landscape, cosmic mountain vista. Pretty accurate stuff once again. And then we have our main description here, talking about in the foreground, rugged mountain peaks stretch into the distance. Above, the sky explodes into a celestial spectacle, dominated by a massive spiral galaxy that seems to swirl directly overhead. Once again, absolutely nailed it. You know, and just imagine if you were sitting here doing this for hundreds of products. You have to sit here and you know, waste your time typing this. Oh, let's see. This artwork piece features a striking scene of a spiral galaxy in the sky above a rocky mountain landscape scene And if you're just typing this, you got to sit here and do all this boring work. I mean, for each individual artwork piece, doing this for the description, doing it for the tags, doing it for the title, including all the appropriate keywords and descriptors, I mean, it's probably going to take you like at least 10-20 minutes per product to do all of the product creation steps. Uploading your images, resizing them, typing all the terms, getting the appropriate SEO stuff in there. I mean, it would take easily like 10 to 15 minutes per product. And using this automation tool, you can just click a couple buttons and it'll just automate all of that boring work for you. I deliberately included different image styles in this particular batch of products just to show you like some abstract ones, some astronomy ones, some landscape ones, some sort of evil artwork ones. Really, I wanted to just include different artwork styles in here just to show you how versatile the AI image recognition part of the tool is. This one here, this is more of just a straightforward photography image, tropical paradise, aerial beach view, turquoise, ocean, serenity. Once again, absolutely nailed it. This is just like a partial scene. This is like a fragment of a scene. It's zoomed in. Infernal Wrath, demonic beast artwork, dark fantasy digital illustration. This is just fantastic for SEO purposes. This striking digital artwork depicts a menacing, demonic creature with glowing red eyes and a mouthful of sharp, illuminated teeth. And then we had another evil one, Cosmic Demon Lord, vibrant digital horror, supernatural fantasy art. Again, absolutely crushed it. If you're tired of coming into the Printify interface and clicking around and finding your product and start designing, and you gotta do all this, and you gotta do all the clicks and the upload and the typing and the clicking around and all that boring stuff, and you gotta rack your brain and come up with a description and, use all the appropriate keywords and terms and stuff. If you'd prefer to just click a couple buttons and automate the creation of all your required products, Bulk POD Product Creator, it's an excellent tool to automate this process for you. You can find a link in the description. You can check the comment section as well. Check it out if you're tired of doing this boring work manually. Make sure to drop a like and comment to keep our YouTube overlord satisfied. That's all I got for now. Thank you guys for watching, and see you later.